Today's story is about Steven Pladl. Out in New York State in 1995, Steven Pladl was 20 years old when he met Alyssa on the internet, who at the time was only 15. They started to meet up in real life, and she soon became pregnant and gave birth to a girl they named Denise. It was their first child, but Alyssa had the sense that something wasn't quite right in the new family that they had built. Alyssa caught Steven brutally pinching their infant daughter on multiple occasions until her entire body was covered in black and blue bruises. Alyssa also claimed that Steven would stuff their daughter in a cooler in order to drown out her cries, and left their child inside until she was on the verge of suffocating. Alyssa, now 17, knew that there was only one way she could keep her daughter safe, and that was to put her up for adoption. After being adopted, Denise was then named Katie. Alyssa remained with Steven, and they ended up having 2 more children. But throughout their entire relationship, Steven remained horribly abusive, violent, aggressive, and angry. And his temperamental and unpredictable mood swings didn't help him keep a steady job or income. Alyssa told one news outlet that he continually threatened to kill himself. For this and many other reasons, Alyssa stayed. But she was still grateful that she made the right choice to give up their first child. At least their baby girl was safe somewhere new, and she'd never have to endure the pain of being home again. But 18 years after they parted, Alyssa randomly received an unexpected message on social media from a girl named Katie, the new name that their daughter had taken after she'd been adopted, by Tony Fusco and his wife Kelly, who renamed the baby girl Katie and raised her with their own biological daughter in Dover, about 80 miles north of New York City. In this home, Katie would grow up with a normal life and family, but she was also a vegetarian who loved animals. At her high school, she was known to be an aspiring artist with a knack for drawing comic strips. Her teachers were encouraging her to go on and attend college and pursue a career in digital advertising. In one blog post, she wrote that ink was her weapon against rules and regulations, and a life without art is no life at all. But after turning 18 in January of 2016, Katie had something else that started to occupy her mind. Her parents had broken the news that she was adopted. Katie immediately found her biological parents through social media, and she decided to message them. She wanted to get to know her biological parents more and see if they'd be willing to meet up. The Pladls said that they would be happy to reunite with her. Katie decided to move in with Steven and Alyssa's family in August of 2016 for a while. Instead of going to college, Katie decided to move in with Steven and Alyssa's family in August of 2016 for a while. Katie's adoptive parents were worried about this, but they decided to support her on her decision since they believed that she was old enough to make her own decisions. But things weren't going well in the Pladls' home. A lot of yelling, a lot of things smashed in the house, and they were making plans for a divorce and sleeping in separate rooms at the time. When Katie moved in, Alyssa spoke with her privately and revealed to Katie that the reason that they had put her up for adoption was because of how Steven had her as an infant, and Alyssa wanted to keep her safe. But according to Alyssa, Katie didn't seem concerned. As soon as Katie moved in, Steven began to dramatically change. He was now 41, but he started dressing younger. He began wearing skinny jeans and form-fitting shirts. Alyssa was sensitive to these changes, but what set her red flag alarms off was when Steven slept on the floor in Katie's room 6 weeks after she'd moved in. In November of 2016, Alyssa decided to finally move out with her 2 children, but it wouldn't be until next year of May of 2017 that Alyssa would make a very shocking discovery. She saw, in her 11-year-old daughter's journal, drawings of a pregnant Katie. She also referred to her father as Satan. As she read more entries, she learned that Steven had told his children to start calling Katie their stepmother because Katie was pregnant with his child. Alyssa became hysterical. She immediately called Steven and asked him if Katie was really pregnant with his baby. But Steven gave a jaw-dropping response and said, "I thought you knew. We're in love." She told Steven he was sick and that Katie was just a child. In July 2017, 2 months after his divorce from Alyssa had been finalized, Steven married Katie in secret in Maryland. They lied on their application saying that they were unrelated, because obviously, in all states besides New Jersey and Rhode Island, incest is definitely illegal. Katie's adoptive parents were present and posed for a photo on the wedding day, along with Steven, Katie, and Steven's mother. In September, Katie gave birth to a baby boy named Bennett. And Steven moved his new family, but newly married bliss didn't last long, as the pair were arrested on incest charges on January of 2018, thanks to ongoing investigations that police had started once they received Alyssa's call from the previous year. A judge ordered that Katie and Steven could no longer remain in contact, and custody of newborn baby Bennett was given to Steven's mother. Steven was distraught and hired a lawyer for the case, who stated to the press that Steven never pressured Katie into a relationship, and that Steven, as a 40-year-old man going through difficulties with his wife, was struggling when 18-year-old Katie showed up on his doorstep. He claimed that though they were biologically related, Steven had never raised Katie himself, and was therefore able to cultivate a sexual bond and relationship with her. Because of the court order, Katie moved back in with her adoptive parents, Tony and Kelly, and every Tuesday and Thursday she would travel to Waterbury, Connecticut to visit Steven's mom and her child, Bennett. Things seemed to be finally turning around for Katie. She was now 20 and returning to her old ways. Then, on the night of April 11th, Katie called Steven to talk. She told him she wanted to end their relationship, which sent Steven in a spiral. Steven went to visit his mother and told her that he wanted to pick up 7-month-old Bennett and take him to see Katie in New York. The next day, on April 12th, Katie and her adoptive father, Tony, left their home and headed towards Connecticut. Security cameras caught footage of Katie and Tony leaving in the family minivan, and Steven in his car nearby, closely watching. Minutes later, witnesses reported someone opening fire. Katie and Tony were found fatally shot in their car. A few miles away in his own car, Steven would then take his own life, firing his weapons towards his head. And in the most heartbreaking part of the story, police received a 911 call after this from Steven's mother. In tears, she reported that her son Steven called and warned her not to go to Steven and Katie's old home. She asked the police to do a welfare check on Steven. She said, "He said he'd killed the baby, and that his wife broke up with him over the phone yesterday. He told me to call the police." When police arrived in Steven and Katie's old home in Henrico that Thursday, they found the baby Bennett dead and abandoned. Medical reports would later confirm that Steven had killed baby Bennett before leaving the home to go after Katie. And that's Steven Pladl's story of incest, murder, and suicide. What do you guys at home think of the story? Let us know in the comments below.